Hello, my lovelies, and welcome to This is Wonder with Eyiara. In today's episode, we will be talking about birthing your sound. And later on, I'm going to share with you and invite you to join me on a challenge. And so, right now, get a pen, some paper, a blanket, whatever will make you feel comfortable, and let's dive in. Today's topic is birth the sound. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, to give birth to something, is categorized as an idiomatic expression. And it's defined as to produce or create something, to cause something to start existing. And it also means to become the source of. And then we have the sound. The sound. Here, I don't mean the sound in relation to songs or singing or music. Rather, I mean the thing that makes you you. Those attributes, those skills, those characteristics, those traits that make you you. In essence, your imprint. Whatever makes you unique, whatever makes you you, whatever is your expression, that is your sound. And in a previous episode, I mentioned that God's imprint is on you, and we can recognize an artist or a designer by their work because they have a special imprint. For example, you can tell a certain piece of artwork by the style in which it was painted. So the Impressionists, you can tell that their work by the style in which they're painted. Or abstract artists, you can tell that, okay, this is an abstract artist and this is how they create their work. Or in terms of a designer, they may have a way of stitching in clothes or a type of fabric that they use or the types of patterns that they decide to create with their clothes. So you can tell a designer or an artist by the type of work that they do. In the same way, God's imprint is on you, and He has deposited things in you that make you unique and which reflect Him. Because remember, you are made in His image and in His likeness. And there are ways for you to distinguish other artists, like say a singer, by the timbre of their voice, or an artist's sculpture by the way they sculpt. There's certain sculptors who sculpt in a particular way. Maybe they do curves in a certain way, or maybe they make things jagged, have jagged edges. So an artist is recognizable by their work. In this context, the sound is an attribute, a skill, something that is attributable to you. In a previous video, I mentioned that everything that God has created me with is specific and useful for what He has made me for. What do I mean by that? Everything God has created me with is specific and useful for what He has created me for. Let's break that down. God made everything for a purpose. Everything that God has made has a purpose or a function. So when God made the tree, it was to bring fruit. When God made the orange tree, it was to bring forth oranges. When God made the apple tree, it was to bring forth apples. When God made all the other things that God made, its purpose was to do something, fulfill something, solve a problem, meet a need. So everything that God makes is for a purpose. And so God has placed everything that we're going to need to fulfill that purpose inside of us. God has placed everything that we're going to need to fulfill that purpose inside of us. Which is why I mentioned that everything that God has created me with, basically everything that I have, the skills, the talents, the characteristics, the attributes that I have, are specific and useful for what God has created me for. So what God has created me for, the purpose for which He's created me, the problem He's created me to solve, the answer He's created me to be for someone or something or somewhere, everything He's created me with is specific for that. For example, like someone who creates snow boots. The purpose for creating snow boots is so that when you walk in the snow, your feet are shielded, are padded, are warm, so that you can walk in the snow. You wouldn't wear snow boots in the desert. Snow boots were not created for the desert. Everything that you have is specific for the purpose you were created for. I hope you're tracking with me. Okay, let's continue. So, there was a reason why God created you. There was a reason why God created me. There was a reason why God created every single thing on this earth. And because God created us for a reason, He's also put inside of us everything that we're going to need in order to fulfill what He's created us for. So, God made you, God made me, and everything that God makes is good. Now, we're establishing that everything that God makes has a purpose. God created it for a purpose. Now, how does this apply to you? Let's take just the outside appearance, your physical appearance. You may have green eyes, curly hair. Your voice may be deep, or it may be high-pitched. Or let's go deeper into how your brain functions. Maybe you are more analytical, or maybe you are more musical. All of those attributes are specific and useful for what God has made you for. And He's put those attributes, those skills, those characteristics in you because He wants you to use them. He wants you to use them to fulfill that purpose He created you for. Because He made you on purpose, for a purpose. He made you with precision, with care, with specificity, with intention. Birth the sound. Now, a sound is recognizable and attributable to a person, a place, or a thing. A sound is recognizable and attributable to a person, a place, or a thing. Now, I'm going to do a little thing with you, so let's roll along with it, okay? Whew. When you hear this sound, what do you think of? A dog, right? A dog. Now, when you hear this sound, what do you think of? A siren? A baby? A cow? Yes. So, those sounds are recognizable and attributable to those objects or those persons or those things. And as I mentioned earlier, your sound in this context is skills, your attributes, your characteristics, what makes you you. Now, what is your sound? What is your sound? Maybe you paint. Maybe you write. Maybe you are an illustrator. Maybe you sing. Maybe you're really good at solving things and putting things back together. Maybe you're a whiz with numbers. Maybe you're a really great listener and you give amazing advice. Maybe you dance. Maybe you're really good at organizing things. Maybe you make delicious food. You just know how to mix the right ingredients together. You know the science of it all to make food taste so delicious. Or maybe you know how to encourage people. What is your sound? Maybe you haven't taken time to think about it or to recognize it, but maybe in this next few moments, jot something down. What comes easy to you? Because usually what your sound is usually what you feel called to, or what you have a lean in towards, or sometimes what you find really easy, as I said earlier. But your sound doesn't have to be just one thing. You can sing, you can dance, you can act, you can draw, you can play an instrument, you can make delicious food, you can organize, you can put things together, you can code. You can do all of those things. Your sound doesn't have to be just one thing. And I like to think of it as your hand. You have a hand, you have your hand, and you have all these fingers. So all of those elements have imprints of you. They are imprints of you. Just like you have your thumb and your pinky finger and all the other fingers in between. Each element that makes up your sound can be like all the fingers on your hand. And each finger has a fingerprint. And as I said, the fingerprint is attributable to you. It can be traced back to you. So all of these things that you can do, oh, some fluff. All of these things that you can do are imprints of you. And they all have your fingerprint. And so they're attributable to you, they're traceable back to you. Some moments ago, I asked you if you knew what your sound was. And I'm going to be super honest here and vulnerable and share with you what my sound is. And yeah, I'm going to share it with you. So for me, this whole birth your sound thing is my voice. And it's an area that I wasn't very confident in. In fact, I used to hate the sound of my voice. I used to hate it because people would make comparisons. They would say, oh my gosh, your voice is so soft. Your voice is so high pitched. Your voice sounds like a little child. And they were always comparing it to people who had voices that they had more oomph, they had more gravitas, you know? People who had more robust sounding voices. They were like, oh, why can't you sound a bit more like that? Why can't you sound a little bit more like this person or like that person or so and so? So growing up, it kind of made me not like the sound of my voice. And even in my teenage years and early 20s, I did not like the sound of my voice. But as I spoke about in episode 4, when I talked about comparison, I've learned over the years that my voice is unique. And when I was talking about comparison, I realized that we are all valuable. I am valuable, you are valuable. And if I really believe that, if I really believe that I'm valuable, you are valuable, and everything that you have, the gifts and the talents that you have are valuable, then I wouldn't compare my voice to your voice. Because your voice is unique and my voice is unique, and we both have value in what we have. And going back to today's, what we've been saying so far about what God has created is for a purpose. That person's voice that has more gravitas or is deeper or has more oomph, that voice is created for a purpose. My voice, which may sound a little bit softer or be more mellow, my voice is also created for a purpose. So in realizing that and understanding that, this whole comparison thing is pointless. And that is what I've been learning, that, you know what? I'm going to embrace my voice. I'm going to embrace how it sounds. I'm going to embrace all of the all of the qualities of it, because it is unique, it is valuable, and each person brings their own uniqueness and brings value in what they have. Now, we have come to the part that I have been looking forward to sharing with you all. Hi, so if you all are willing, let's go on a journey together. Say, what journey? Let's go on a journey together. And for the next 30 days, whatever time you're watching this, maybe in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, 25 years' time, for the next 30 days, I want us, me included, to practice our sound, develop our sound. Whatever your sound is, I want us, for the next 30 days, to practice it. We're going to develop it. And this is not for a particular outcome. We're not doing it to reach a particular goal or hit a target of some sorts. The aim of this is to really engage with the sound of us, something that's unique to us, whatever we find that we have a lean-in for, that we have a liking for, that comes easy to us. The aim for this is to engage with it, have fun with it, and see where it leads. See what opens up for us as we do it, as we operate in it. So the aim is not to reach a certain thing or for a particular outcome. Engage with it. You can do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 25, an hour, however long you want to spend on it. As long as you decide and you're dedicated to do that every day for 30 days. So, are you with me? Let's do this. I believe this will be the beginning of some really amazing experiences in each and every one of your lives. How do you participate? You can do it in your homes, wherever you are in the world. And if you would like to share it on socials, you can share it using hashtag #BirthTheSound and hashtag This is Wonder Series. Hashtag #BirthTheSound. Hashtag This is Wonder Series. I'm looking forward to seeing all of y'all birthing wonders and how you express your wonders, how you express your sounds in the world. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, we mentioned that everything that God created is for a purpose. And we are doing this thing called birth your sound, birthing the sound. Why are we birthing the sound? What is the purpose for us birthing the sound? First of all, it isn't just for ourselves. We are birthing the sound, but it's not just for us. It's not just for us to revel in it. It's not just for us to be like, oh, I have this amazing thing that I can do, and I'm just going to do it so that it can bring me all this glory and this fame and this accolades and all of that. If that comes as a result of you birthing your sound, so be it. But it's not just for you, not just for you to benefit from it. When you benefit from it, that is great. There's nothing bad about that. But one of the reasons why we are birthing our sound is not just for us. I heard someone give this analogy. I'm not really sure who or where or when I heard it. But essentially, they said that the fruit from a tree is not for the tree itself. The fruit from a tree is not for the tree itself. So you know how when trees have their fruits and humans, we go and we pluck the fruit. Animals, they go and they pluck the fruit and they eat the fruit. That tree bearing fruit, the fruit is not for the tree. So in essence, when a tree bears fruit, the fruit is not for the tree to hold onto, but to release for others to experience and enjoy. When a tree bears fruit, the fruit is not for the tree to hold on to, but it is for the tree to release so that others can experience it and enjoy it. So that is one of the reasons why we are birthing our sound. It's not for us to hold on to, but to release it so that others can enjoy it and they can experience it. Let's move on to the next one. Why are we birthing our sound? It is to leave an imprint on someone else's life. Leave an imprint that transforms their life. What do I mean by that? Let's say your sound is that you're really skilled with your hands. You're really skilled with your hands. And you know how to sew clothes well, you know how to design clothes well. So when you are sewing clothes, when you designed an outfit and someone buys it, someone wears it, and they really like it, that is adding beauty to their life. That outfit that you've sewn, that you have designed, has added beauty to their life. And you have just left an imprint on their life, a literal imprint that they can wear. So they have an imprint of you that they can carry around with them. And that imprint transforms their life because that outfit has enhanced their beauty or has made them feel more beautiful, more stylish. Another example of if you're really skilled with your hands is if you are a surgeon. So if you're really skilled with your hands and you do surgery on people, you stitching people up and making them better, that is a literal imprint that transforms their life. It is a literal imprint that transforms their life. Because if you weren't a skilled surgeon and you didn't know how to do stitches well and sew people up well, infections, germs could get into the open wounds, and the people who've had open surgeries, they would get sick. So you being really skilled with your hands and you being a really skilled surgeon is leaving an impact, an imprint on people's lives that transforms their lives, literally. Leaving an imprint on them that transforms their lives. Now, onto the next point of why we are birthing our sound. We are birthing our sound to inspire someone else, to help someone else, to shine our light so that those who are with us or those who come after us have a lit path. Now let's go back to the tree analogy that I made earlier. So as the tree stands tall and it spreads out its branches, birds can come in and make their nests in the branches. Humans and other creatures can sit under the tree's branches and sit in the shade of the leaves. And that has created such a ripple effect. But you may think that your sound is just a little thing, like the seed of an apple. You may think your sound is really small. But when you plant it in good soil, and you water it, and you cultivate it, and you practice it, and you develop it, that seed grows. When that seed grows, and your sound grows, and your sound develops, it goes on to impact many people. And as that seed grows, and it becomes a big tree, and your sound grows and develops and becomes something much bigger than you thought that it was, it goes on to impact people. And it goes on to impact people from generation upon generation upon generation, just like that tree. And that is why we are birthing our sound. So remember, God made you. Everything that God makes is good. He made you for a purpose. And so he's put everything inside you that you will need to fulfill that purpose. And everything inside you that you need to fulfill that purpose is specific and useful. God made you. Everything that God makes is good. He made you for a purpose. And everything he's placed inside you to fulfill that purpose is specific and useful. And he has placed everything that you would need to fulfill that purpose inside you. So now I implore you, let your voice be heard. Thank you for joining me in this episode of This is Wonder. I hope that has encouraged you. Please like, comment, subscribe to this channel, and share and comment and all of that good stuff because it really helps to get the message across to more people. And like I said earlier with the challenge, the 30-day challenge to birth your wonder, you can share it on socials using #BirthTheSound. hashtag This Is Wonder series. I'm so looking forward to seeing how we all express our sound and just this beautiful array of people birthing their sounds. And remember, you are a wonder. Thanks so much for joining me in this episode, and I will see you next time.